Shalom. First, I give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Kakadash. And we're going to get into this article here. As you can see, this is Sleazy E. This is the devil, or this is Satan in the flesh, man. As you can see, this Edomite here, he has the devil horns. He's red. This is the so-called white man in a nutshell. This man tells on himself all the time. And you so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans just ignore it. This man is the damn devil, and he's so wicked. It is showing through his physical, man. He's so wretched and such the wicked that he can't do nothing but express it outwardly, man. But we're going to get into this article here. It's on ajlive.com. It says, traumatized girl jumps out a window to escape social worker with face tattoos, devil horns. Vienna, Austria. A traumatized girl in Austria jumped out of a window after she was picked up by a social worker who looked like a Satanist. The previous group home for children with behavioral issues, where the 12-year-old girl lived, was closed down by Vienna's Child and Youth Welfare Agency in May 11 due to complaints. The children from the facility were supposed to be transferred to a new group home operated by the private nonprofit organization Homebase. Homebase director Gawain Walter Gawain Walter was one of the social workers who picked the girl up. The case turned into a political scandal when the girl jumped out of a window and broke several bones shortly after meeting Walter. The 12-year-old girl from Tyrol is considered traumatized due to suspected severe experiences of abuse. According to Pro-Child Vienna, the organization that ran her previous group home, she reacts very negatively to men and therefore should not be cared for by male social workers. However, the guidelines were not followed when the girl was picked up from there and taken to a new sharing and living agreement. Criticized, Sabin Kerry, the youth spokesman of the Austrian People's Party in Vienna, Kerry was given a written account of the incident and said it had been made very clear that the girl was not to be picked up by a man, and then a man shows up and exerts pressure. Moreover, the home-based director's physical appearance is said to have scared the girl, as his several face tattoos, including a pentagram on his forehead. The man also frequently wears small black horns on his head that can be screwed on and off, as can be seen in his portrait of Homebase official website. To me, that's a satanic look, and I can't very well let someone who looks like that work with severely traumatized children, Kerry said. Walter responded to the accusations and said they were defamatory, insisting that he is not a Satanist. He said he is not wearing the small horns on his head when he picked up the children. You can believe that if you want to. But this is Esau Edom, man. This is who you so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, argue up and down and want to fight the man of the Lord, trying to save and get this fucking piece of crap into the kingdom of heaven, man. The man of the Lord, we don't want this thing on the side of us ruling in the kingdom of heaven. We want something like this far, far, far away from us, or sent back to the spirit world, man. He's not going to be able to do this in the kingdom of heaven. He's not going to wear any horns. He ain't going to be able to screw any horns on his head, unscrew them, and tattoos, and none of that. He is going to be in line and in order in the kingdom of heaven when the Israelites rule. Now, will he still try to do it? Of course. but he's going to pay the price and pay it severely. Like Trump would say, very strongly. Because we're going to have a kingdom of not wickedness, Salaki. We're going to have a kingdom of righteousness, not wickedness. And anything that look like this is going to be taken care of accordingly to the law, statute, and commandments and the statutes that Yahweh, the Most High, has set up. And we're going to gladly enforce them. Every Israelite is going to be, well versed, because we're going to have the laws, statutes, and commandments in our inward parts. So every man, every male that's an Israelite is going to be a king and a priest. And we're going to execute judgment upon the heathens, man. We're going to execute judgment upon the heathen, getting them in line. And the first on the list is Esau Edom. He's going to get beat into shape, if you will. So let's get some precepts. This is the book of John 8. This is the book of John. Let's try this again. This is the book of John 8 and 44. Ye are your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. So yeah, this is Yahweh Shai, so-called black man, the one you ignorantly call Jesus, is calling Esau Edom, the so-called white man, the devil. And the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth. This man abodes not in the truth. And same way with this social worker. He knew he wasn't supposed to pick up that girl. It was the lady apparently, but you never know. Esau, she had Edomite too. They be lying their asses off too. But they had a male go pick up this girl. That, and they tried to play crazy. Try to act like they didn't know what was going on. Because they abode not in the truth, man. Because there's no truth in him. There's no truth in Esau Edom. If you want to know if Esau Edom is lying, if he's moving his lips, he's lying, man. If he's talking, he's lying. He's setting up a lie within a lie. So you have to be aware of who you actually dealing with. It says when he speak of a lie, he speaketh of his own. For he's a liar and the father of it. This man is a compulsive liar, habitual liar. No matter how you want to put it, how you want to slice it, this man is going to lie. Just like how a carpet lay on the floor, you can guarantee Esau Edom is going to be lying, man. If his lips are moving, he's lying. And this who you so-called Negro Latinos or Native Americans model yourself after. You want to be just like him. You want to live like him. You want to be looked up to by this man, patted on the head by this man. And he's showing you his true natural form, man. Devil horns, tattoos, red. Man, that's the damn devil, man. And you so-called Negro Latinos and Native Americans don't have a damn clue what you're dealing with. We're going to get Job 9 and 24. It said the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Yeah, Esau Edom, man. If he's not the wicked, then who he is? If he's not the wicked, then who the hell is? This man's so wicked, he's showing you on his outward appearance. I just had to get that article, man, because I can't let that slide. Here it is. Esau Edom is portraying you know, physically on the hour who he really is. You know, he's Hellboy. He's Satan, man. You know, and you Israelites just sit there and just laugh and chuckle and have a great old time, man. You know, and you just don't know you're dealing with Satan in the flesh, man. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. And before I do, I'm going to give all praise and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem Kakadash. Shalom.